Don't you hate picking up a Maven auto shotgun and hitting the guy for 30 damage? Meanwhile, little Timmy64 picks up one, he only hits 120s. Well, shotguns, even though they seem so simple, are actually harder than you think. And if you're not using shotguns the way Epic Games have intended for them to be used, it's kind of like using your toilet as a bin. Okay, using your toilet as a bin will work somewhat, but it's definitely not the most efficient way for you to be using your toilet, which is why I've put together this video here where I'll be going through not what a bin is, that video will be coming later, but the secret to winning every shotgun fight in Fortnite. No matter which shotgun you will have, after this guide, you'll be winning every single shotgun fight with ease. That way, when little Timmy64 gets that gold thunder off spawn and you get a grey Maven auto, even you can kill him with ease. Kicking it right off with the current shotguns in the game. We currently have 4 shotguns in the game and 95% of your fights are most likely going to finish in a shotgun fight. So it's important we have mastered each shotgun. That way, we can win more fights and stop dying off spawn, as off spawn is when you tend to get the shotguns you're not so confident. The 4 shotguns currently in the game is the Thunder Pump shotgun, most people's personal favourite, the Maven Auto, the shotgun that little Timmy only hits 120 plus with, the heavy shotgun, you know, the one you miss all your shots with because of the super small crosshair, and finally the combat shotgun. I forgot the shotgun was even in the game until I was creating this video. And let's first kick it off with everyone's favourite shotgun, the Thunder Pump. The way you should be approaching fights with a shotgun is shoot and build. The same mentality as normal pump shotgun. Please Epic, bring that back. I missed the normal pump. Anyways, enough crying about the shotguns. Where was I? Oh yeah, shoot and build. I'm not sure if you could tell or not, but there's actually a delay on the Thunder Pump shot. I know, first time I heard that as well. And the delay is around about 1.5 seconds when I tested it, which means you can fire the pump once every 1.5 seconds, compared to the Maven Auto, which when I tested that, you could fire 2 times a second. So that means it has a delay of around about half a second. Even though 1 second doesn't seem like a lot, the time to kill in Fortnite is probably one of the lowest it's been in a while. It feels like it takes people 2 seconds to kill you when hitting every SMG shot, which is why I say shoot and build. If you want to take the thunder, you need to take the fight to the player. Ensure you have at least, I recommend, around about 500 mats, and that should be enough to pretty much kill any opponent in Fortnite. It's definitely the more skilled shotgun, and the way you should approach fights with it is taking the fight to the player. Look for piece control, don't sit back and let them play. You want to try and be on the front foot constantly in the fight. I mean, the Thunder Pump is the one I think most people know how to use, so I don't want to go super in depth about it. I just kind of want to go over the things a lot of people not necessarily don't know. A lot of the stuff people sort of forget about this shotgun. But one thing you need to understand about the Thunder Pump is that low fire rate. The lower the fire rate, the higher the damage it does. All the shotguns in the game have this higher fire rate, but they do a lot less damage. A gold Thunder Pump to the head does 195 damage, and for most people, that is going to be a 1 pump. Especially if you can get a Thunder Pump off spawn, most of them do easily over 100 damage to the head, so you've got nothing to worry about. So this means that the Thunder Pump shotgun is definitely the best shotgun for dealing damage, and most of the time in fights, you'll need just 1 or 2 decent shots with this gun to win a fight. So don't hop in people's boxes and don't get overly aggressive with the Thunder Pump. Sit back a bit, play off angles when fighting, look for piece control, and when fighting any other shotgun, you want to be especially careful. Especially when fighting someone with Maven Auto, do not let them get in your box. It's worth a 50-50 trade against a Maven Auto, but it's not worth a 50-50 trade where they're in your box. You want to always ensure you're at least 1 tile away from your opponent or on a different tile to your opponent. That way they can't just run at your face and kill you. Especially little Timmy, you know how hard he hits with that Maven Auto. Take smart angles. I like to go for height. Every time I've got the Thunder Pump, I always like to have height because it's just so easy to win fights when you've got high ground with this shotgun. Talking about the second shotgun, the Maven Auto. This shotgun is a bit more in your face than the Thunder Pump, and rather than shoot and build with the shotgun, you want to try and get as close as you can to your opponent. Try and avoid building loads and just going cranking forever, and rather instead play off what your opponents do. When using the Thunder Pump, I recommend people to make plays. Look for peace, take walls, make angles, and overall, look to take height. Instead with the Maven Auto, sometimes it's even better to just give away height and just box up and let them make the move. One thing people think about the Maven Auto is, oh, the fire rate is much higher, so I just need to spam it. If you want to use the Maven Auto, you just cannot miss shots with it, because you are going to be punished for it. Rather than rushing shots and hitting people for 40, which a lot of people do, you should rather think, yes, it shoots quick, but you got to understand the Maven Auto still does a lot of damage. The Grey Maven Auto does 77 to the body, and it fires 2 shots in the time it takes to fire 1 pump shot, which means you can get 154 damage on your opponent in just 2 shots to the body with Grey Maven Auto. And with the things like the Gold Maven Auto, that's even higher. I'm pretty sure it does something ridiculous, like over 100 damage to the head, and the gold one even does something like 165 to the head, and you can fire 2 of these shots in the time it takes for 1 pump shot. One thing you should not do is jump with the Maven Auto. Don't just jump around spamming it, rather look to get close to people and just hit your shots. I promise you, if you use the Maven Auto just that little bit slower, stop spamming it and don't jump, and rather get close to people and line up your shots and hit them, you will win a lot more fights with the Maven Auto. Genuinely, it is not a trash shotgun at all if you know how to use it. The chances are you're just using it wrong. So stop spamming it aimlessly, because you're going to struggle with it massively, and sometimes I genuinely think the Maven Auto shotgun can actually be harder to use than the Thunder Pump, because you have to be super good with that bigger crosshair spread of the Maven Auto, as well as the lower damage. But if you know how to use it properly, you'll be able to win a load more fights. Now moving on to the third shotgun, the heavy shotgun. Now, this shotgun does a lot of damage, especially at range. This is more like a sniper shot than an actual shotgun. Now, the fire rate seemed to be a little bit quicker than the Thunder Pump when I was testing it out, but as you probably noticed, the crosshair spread on the shotgun is tiny when zoomed in, but when not zoomed in, it is massive, making it almost impossible to use it at close range in one-to-one gunfight. Meaning, this is good, but also bad. As a mid-game gun, it's kind of one of those guns, if you get off spawn and you keep your distance from people, you'll be alright. But you do not want to get into a one-to-one fight with this shotgun, because when it's not zoomed in, it's just too chaotic for me, and I find myself just struggling to hit shots with it. And getting into mid-game fights, you do not want to carry this gun. Be alright if you are maybe on top of a building or something, but in a build fight with this gun, you're gonna struggle. But what you need to understand about the gun, tiny crosshair on the gun means when you hit your shots with it, you will hit a lot of pellet, which results in you hitting people for a lot more damage. This means the shotgun, when you hit shots, is probably the most consistent shotgun in the game, and all your shots will hit for high damage. But smaller the crosshair, the harder it is to hit the shot. I mean, the shotgun was added in the game more as a shotgun you zoom in with and use at range. You do not want to be getting close to people with this shotgun. I tried it when I was testing it for this video. Every time I got close to people with it, I would find myself hitting probably 2 out of 4 or 5 shots with it. It genuinely is just so inconsistent, it's unreal. I found this shotgun to be best around 2 to 5 tiles away when no one can see me, like if you sneak up behind someone and you can just hit them really hard, where you can peek over a ramp or something. But whenever I went close range, it was just not good at all. So if you are going to take this, you definitely need an SMG. A bit like the Thunder Pump, you need something to clear up with it, maybe a pistol or SMG or just an AR or something that you can clear up those close range fights. And personally, I would only recommend taking it if there's no other shotgun. And finally, we move on to the last shotgun. The combat shotgun. This is only achievable by getting the tactical perk, which comes with the combat shotgun and the tactical AR. And overall, as a shotgun, I just don't like it. I see a lot of people really disliking this shotgun, and the problem with it to me is it just feels like a dodgy Maven Auto. It feels like the Maven Auto without that damage. I'm pretty sure it shoots just a little bit quicker than the Maven Auto, but this shotgun just spray and pray. And the thing about the Maven Auto is you can take your time a bit more with your shots, because a headshot does over 100 damage, and the time it takes to fire 1 pump shot, you can hit someone over 200 with 2 good shots of the Maven. The combat, on the other hand, is a shotgun I would only take if I had crazy good aim. And even at that point, if your aim is that good, why not just take a Thunder Pump where you can hit someone maximum damage of 195, as the Thunder Pump genuinely is the most rewarding shotgun. And shotguns like the combat shotgun is just not good. If you get this perk come up, I'll probably give it a miss, hit a reroll, or pick the other perk. I know some controller players who have used it and said it's decent, but it's just the lack of damage for me, which just makes me say no. The fire rate being a bit higher means it's a little bit more forgiving than the Maven Auto, but it just seems so hard to get kills with this weapon due to the lack of damage. But if you was to take it, the only time I could see it being any good really is off spawn, when no one has much health, but then again, you don't get perks until like 3 minutes into the game, and by then, off spawn's already gone. Or if you're still in off spawn, chances are everyone's 100 at this point. So to me, it just seems a bit pointless. I'd probably just give it a miss. Now I've gone through each of the shotgun and sort of the advantages and disadvantages of the shotgun, I'm now going to do like an overall conclusion and match the best shotgun up for you for your playstyle. First of all, let's kick it off with the better sides of things. If you're a competitive player who plays the game a lot and finds most of their fights to end up in some sort of build fight, so someone who plays arena or plays comp, which I'm going to assume is most of you, then you should use the Thunder Pump. If you're someone who hits a lot of shots, has good builds and edits, likes to PC control players, then you should always be taking the Thunder Pump and get into the habit of that shoot and build. Next up, for players that have super aggressive playstyles, if you're someone who just wants to get into people's faces as soon as you hit some damage, maybe you have some crazy aim, you constantly hit people for like 100 plus damage before fights, then the Maven also is definitely a valid choice, especially if you're someone who doesn't want to use an SMG, because the Thunder Pump, due to its low fire rate, you always need some sort of pistol or SMG or AR to clean up with. But if you're someone who just wants that trustworthy shotgun that will do decent damage and allows you to get right up into people's faces, you will love the Maven Auto. I would massively recommend for anyone looking to take the Maven Auto to either get one or get both of the perks, the rushing reload, which auto reloads the shotgun for you while you're running, as well as the siphon shotgun one. It's still good with all the other shotguns, but with the Maven Auto particularly, it just seems to be so broken, that siphon shotgun. Now, I actually use the Maven Auto off spawn, and I love just being able to run at people, get up close to them, and punish them. Now, moving on to the people that maybe want to stay back a bit more. If you're maybe not that good at building or editing, and you're more of a casual player who wants to line up shots, then give the heavy a chance. If your aim is pretty good, and you like to take time to line up your shots, this genuinely could be your new best friend. It's definitely not the best shotgun in the world, but for certain playstyles, maybe a little bit slower ones, it could be good. It could be a good shot, especially in casuals with the mythic one. And lastly, the combat shotgun. I mean, I couldn't recommend this to anyone really. Maybe give it a try if you're on controller, but it just seems trash. If you love to jump around a lot in shotgun fights, it might be good because the crosshair size doesn't change massively when you jump into it, but apart from that, it's just not a good shotgun really. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you did learn something new and now know which shotgun is perfect for you, as well as some of the mistakes you might have been making. If you did enjoy, please hit a like and also subscribe, and don't be afraid to leave a comment down below as I respond to all comments. If you like this video here, you may also like this video on screen now.